In today's video, we're going to be looking at creating a linear equation from 2 points. Now, in the previous lessons, we've been looking at a table and figuring out the slope, figuring out the y-intercept, and plugging them into y equals mx plus b. And the same thing we're going to do with this, except the only difference is they're going to look like in this format where they have 2 points. So we're still going to put them into a table, find the slope, and then find the intercept. So we have 8, 2, and 7, 1. So in my table over here, I'm going to write 8, 2, 7, 1. So this goes down 1 and down 1 over here. So the slope is negative 1 over 1, negative 1, excuse me, which is positive 1. So that's my slope. Now, I could also find my y-intercept by plugging into my equation y equals mx plus b, because I have a point and because I have a slope, right? Here's the slope, and I can just pick one of the points. So I'm going to plug in, 1 in for m. I'm going to take this point, right? Plug in 2 for y, 8 in for x. It doesn't matter which point you use, they're both are going to work. So we have 2 equals 1 times 8 plus b. So you have 2 equals 1 times 8, which is 8, minus 8 from both sides, and we get negative 6 is b. So now I have my slope, I have my intercept. So my equation is y equals 1x minus minus 6. This is not letting me write over here. Here we go. 1x minus 6. All right. So we use the slope and we use the y-intercept to plug into our original y equals mx plus b, because you don't need the coordinates. Now, when I type in here, I don't need to put the 1x. I can just do y equals x minus 6. Submit. Yes. All right. Let's look at another one. Yeah, let's look at one with some negatives in it. All right. Let's clear this bad boy out. So we have negative 8, 0 and 8, 4. Negative 8, 0 and 8, 4. The rise, change in y, goes up 4. The run, this might get a fraction here. We might need our Desmos scientific calculator at some point. Okay, let me see. So this is going up 16. So my slope is 4 over 16. Now again, we have our Desmos scientific calculator, and we can reduce fractions with that. 4 fraction button 16, and just click on this, and we get 1/4. Ooh, not a bad fraction. Not a bad fraction at all. So then what we're going to do is write our y equals mx plus b. I'm going to plug in my slope, right? Plug in the slope. We're going to plug in one of the points. I usually try to pick the positive points. So the 4 I'm going to put in for y, and the 8 I'm going to put in for x. All right. So we have 1/4 of 8. If I do that, 1/4 times 8. Oh, here. I want to just do this. Type it all in. 1/4. And then put in the parentheses 8. You can do that. Or if you know that off the top of your head, you know it is 2. Another way you could do that is just multiplying by 1/4 the same thing as dividing by 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. Subtract 2 from both sides. You get 2 is B. So now my equation, I got my M, I got my B. So my equation is y equals 1/4 x plus 2. Let me double check here. Everything looks good. Something's off because when I plug that in, do I get 0? Let me double check. So we have 1/4 in for here, 4 in for here, 8 in there. Yep, -2 from both sides. Okay, this should work. 1/4 x plus 2. If not, made a simple calculating mistake. Yep, we're good. Okay, next one. Oh, I wanted to do that one. We'll get to one of those later. Let's do another one with negatives. All negatives here. -6, -1, -8, 4, -4. All right, clear this guy out. -6, -1, and -8, -4. All right, again, this is going down 3. This is going down 2. So my slope is -3 over -2, which negative divided by negative is a positive. And I'm going to leave this as a fraction. Or it could make it 1.5 since it's a nice decimal, but I'm going to leave it as a fraction in case you get uglier fractions later on and want to know what to do. All right, so I plug in my M. I plug in a point. I'm going to plug in this one. I'm going to plug in -1 in for x. I'm going to plug in -6 for y. Because I know 3 over 2 times 1 is, I'm sorry, plug the wrong one in. Plug the wrong one in. Come on, erase. Erase. There we go. Come on. So I have -1 in for y, -6 in for x. Be careful with that. So if I made that mistake, you might make that one too. So you have -1 equals 3/2 times -6, which is negative, I think it's -9 plus b. I could have double checked that in the calculator, right? 3/2, boom, -6, boom, -9. All right. Add 9 to both sides. And I get my b. I'm going to write it up here. B is 8. So I got my m. I got my b. So my equation is y equals 3/2 x plus 8. Awesome. Now I want to take a look at a problem that I wanted to look at before. In case you notice you ever get the same x value, so this one is a -1 and -1, you don't even have to do all the work that I just did on the whiteboard. All you have to type in, since both x values are the same, it's going to be a vertical line at x equals -1. So since both of these x values are the same, that's what you're going to type in. Pretty simple. Same thing with the y values. I don't know if they're going to give us one with the same y values, but we can take a look. I don't think so. Oh, right here. Here we go. Same y values, 3 and 3. So I'm going to, instead of x equals 3, it's going to be y equals 3 since both the y values are the same. So if both of the x values are the same or both the y values are the same, you're just going to type in the x equals or the y equals depending on which is the same. So that's it for today's video. If you have questions, again, show your work on paper. And if you have questions, let me know. And thank you for watching. Good luck.